Duck, Duck, Goose. Written and illustrated by Tad Hills. Goose stood very still. He did not want to disturb the butterfly on his head. Just wait until Duck gets a look at this, he thought. Bluebird, have you seen the duck? He asked carefully. He's approaching from the west, said Bluebird, and he's not alone. Not alone, honked Goose. And where's west? That away. Bluebird pointed and was gone. Just wait until Goose meets the thistle, Duck thought as he raced his new friend across the meadow. Along the way, he shouted out all his and Goose's favorite spots. There's the lily pond and the shady thicket. Up ahead are the puddles by the river. Oh, I love puddles, Thistle yelled and ran ahead. Wow, you sure are one fast duck, Duck called after her. I sure am. I'm probably the fastest duck in the whole wide world, the little duck boasted. Just then Goose heard twigs snap and leaves rustle. He watched his butterfly flutter away. Out of the bushes came Duck and Thistle. You missed it, Duck, said Goose. A butterfly was sitting on my head. Exciting news, Goose, said Duck. Are you sure it wasn't a moth? Thistle asked. Oh yes, I'm sure, little duck, Goose said. I'm not little, Thistle hollered. Goose, meet Thistle, Duck said. Nice to meet you, Thistle, Goose honked. How long is she staying? He whispered to Duck. Forever, said Duck happily. She just moved here. You know, Duck, Thistle said, once 3 butterflies landed on my head at the same time. She leaped in the air. 3 butterflies all at the same time. Isn't Thistle amazing, Goose? Duck quacked. Yeah, she's something all right. That's 2 more butterflies than you had, said Duck. I know, I could add, mumbled Goose. Hey, I'm really good at math, too, exclaimed Thistle. I'm probably the best. For example, what's 4 plus 9, Goose? She asked. Think fast, and she kicked the puddle. Splash! 13, she yelled, before Goose could answer. What about 6 plus 3? Splash, splash! 9, that's easy, Thistle shouted. What about 7 plus 2? Splash, splash, splash! 9 again, of course, Thistle screamed. 9, 9, 9, 9! I can't do math when I'm being splashed, sputtered Goose. Could we please play something else? I could hold my breath for practically forever, boasted Thistle. Can you, Goose? Do I have to? Oh, come on, it'll be fun, quacked Duck. I'll time you. Fine, said Goose, and took a big breath. So did Thistle. Duck counted. 1 hippopotamus, 2 hippopotamus, all the way to 11, when Goose collapsed. I win, said Thistle, doing a little spin. You are so good at that. I bet you really could have lasted forever, exclaimed Duck. I'd like to see her try, groaned Goose. So what else do you do around here for fun? Quacked Thistle. Duck looked at Goose. We play, he said. I bet I'll win, quacked Thistle. We run around the meadow or kick our ball, said Goose. There is no winning. Then why bother, said Thistle. Last one to the top of the hill is a rotten egg. And off she ran. Well, I guess I'm the rotten egg, Goose said. Come on, Goose, Duck yelled. Let's see how fast Thistle can run downhill. Can't we just watch the clouds instead? Honked Goose. But Thistle and Duck were too far away to hear him. At the bottom of the hill, Goose moaned. Can't we just stand on our heads? Thistle interrupted. Of course. But first, let's have a who can hop on 1 foot the longest match. A walk across a log challenge? A balance on a stick on your own head contest? And a jump over a bush race? When it's time to stand on their heads, Goose had enough. I'd rather look for butterflies, he said to himself. On your marks, get set, Thistle quacked. Ready, Goose? But Goose was nowhere in sight. Time me, okay, Duck? Said Thistle. Duck sighed. Sure. 1 hippopotamus, Did Goose say where he was going? 2 hippopotamus. Do you think he'll come back? 3 hippopotamus. Should we go look for him? Who? Squawked Thistle. Goose! Squawked Duck. Oh, that guy was going to lose anyway. Now let's see if I can beat my personal record. Keep counting. What is your record, Thistle? 3,513. By 6 hippopotamus, Duck had enough. I can't believe you're leaving me upside down like this, cried Thistle as Duck headed off into the tall grass. Duck looked for Goose in all their favorite places, but the lily pond was empty, the shady thicket was dark and quiet, and the riverbank felt lonely. Duck called out to his friend, Goose! But his cry was muffled by the whirl of the wind and the gurgle of the river. At last, Duck hung his head and sat down by their favorite bush. Oh, Goose, where are you? He said, wishing that his friend could hear him. From behind the bush came a familiar honk. Goose? Duck called out. Duck! Answered Goose. Goose, where have you been? Goose sighed. I don't like to stand on my head. No, said Duck. Actually, I don't either. And when I hold my breath too long, I get dizzy. Me too, said Duck. And walking across a log scares me. Duck looked at Goose. I thought you did a great job. But Thistle won every time, Goose said. She's very talented. Duck nodded. I think she had lots of practice. You know, said Goose, hopping on one foot is fun for a while. Well, sometimes I like to sit and smell the flowers. Or listen to the river, Duck added. Or feel a warm breeze, said Goose. Or look for butterflies, quacked Duck. Or even kick the ball around the meadow, honked Goose. Hey, good idea, agreed Duck. Suddenly, out of the tall grass, Thistle appeared. Wow, you guys are good hiders, she quacked. And you're a good finder, said Goose. What should we do now? Asked Thistle. I think it's time for a nap, Goose said. Duck pretended to yawn. I bet I could fall asleep faster than anyone. Not faster than me, Goose said. I'm the fastest faller asleeper ever, Thistle bragged. Okay, said Goose. Whoever falls asleep first and sleeps the longest is the all-time best? Duck quacked. Champion napper, Goose honked. In the whole wide world, shouted Thistle. And luckily for Duck and Goose, Thistle was.